Well, hello again, it's Julie here from Hot Patterns, and this time we haven't got a brand new pattern to share with you. No, this time we have a little tutorial, and this tutorial is for one of our more recent patterns. This is for the Deco Vibe Deceptively Skinny pencil skirt. Oh, beg your pardon, it's a patchwork skirt. That's the whole point of this. I'm showing you how to do the patchwork panel. Now, I wanted to show you how to do this patchwork panel because it's one of those things that's more than the sum of its parts. By which I mean you take something simple and another something simple, do something simple to it, and you get this fantastic result, which is really, really great. And the other thing is, of course, once you've learnt to do this and you've seen how easy it is to go together, you can use this technique on lots of different garments, as well as like home deck things like pillows and stuff. You might decide to put panels of this in a sleeve or a dress or whatever. It's just a really cool thing to learn. So I'm going to show you it bit by bit, stage by stage, and then I'm going to go away and finish my skirt and you will see just how cool it is. So we start with two different sorts of fabric. These black strips here are my skirt fabric, also called self fabric. That's just a normal term for them. So these are the same colour and the same fabric as the rest of my skirt, and there's a reason for this. This is my contrast. The white fabric here is my contrast. Now I've decided to use linen for all of this because, well, I really like linen, what can I tell you? And also I wanted to use black and white because that's what we've illustrated on the front of the envelope, so as a quite visual people, it makes sense for you to kind of go, oh, that is that, fine. And also black and white is the highest contrast you can get, so you can really see how it's going to go together. So you're going to start off with these. You're going to have 12 of these black strips and 6 of these. Easy peasy. And what you'll end up doing is, of course, joining them so you get that. And in the manner of all good children's TV programs everywhere, I have one made earlier, you end up with this. Okay, you've just got your nice big stripe. Now, I've kind of, as always, I've kind of bent the rules to suit myself. When you do classic patchwork, you don't overlock it on the inside, you press the seams open. Well, I'm sorry, I had to overlock it. I used my overlocker here to clean the seams off because this is a garment that's going to be worn a lot, and I just wanted to overlock it, so I did. And I also pressed all my seam allowances into the darker fabric, and this is kind of useful to do so you don't get too much show through. So I did that and I created myself a nice long strip. Now what you're going to do with this strip, really simple, square off one of the ends. Let's assume that that isn't squared off. Let's just chop it nice and straight. And you want to cut this into squares, and here's the easiest way to do it. Don't bother with rulers and patterns and pins and malarkey, just do this. Fold it diagonally like that.
I'm just going to come in right with your hand.
Zoom away. You zoom. Can you see where I've got that? Can I lift it up for you?
Yep, sure.
Fold it like that. Snippety snip along here. You have yourself a square. Now this does not look like a square because of course we've got a black band at the top and a black band at the bottom. It looks like a weird rectangle. Trust me, it's a square. And then all you do is go merrily along, chopping out more squares. Easy peasy. So you'll do this to all your strips. You'll get your squares prepared. And don't worry about them being precise. I mean, precise is nice, but it's not desperate. You know, if you're an eighth of an inch out here, there, don't worry about that. You'll see why. Because when you're making it all, you kind of clean up as you go. It's really easy to do. So you've chopped this all into squares, and then you start putting them together. Here is how you put them together. That's how they're going to go when they're together. And you're going to end up with strips that look like that. Are you impressed?
I'm just going to come and zoom in again.
Zoom away.
Okay. Can you hold that up for us, please?
Sure, I can hold it up for you. So that's what you're going to end up with. Now I'm going to turn it to the back so you see, and once again I have pressed all the seam allowances.
I'm going to really zoom in there.
Oh, yeah,
hold it up, please, up further.
There?
That works. Down a little. That works, okay.
So you can see I have pressed all the seam allowances into the darker fabric so I get the minimum amount of show through. You can also see that things are getting a bit wonky on the squares. Don't worry about that.
Okay, turn it over please.
Okay, when you put it all together, it's all going to get cleaned up. So that's what you start off with. You start off with your strip, then your squares, and you join them into this. And then, when you've done that, you're going to put your strips together. Now I've done it so I've got a strip of 6 of these and then I'm joining them. I will show you what I mean. Lunging off camera, dropping papers as I go. That is what I've ended up with. Ooh, I mean, I have to say, I think it looks really cool. It's a really sharp and very graphic kind of look. It looks lovely. Of course, it's all kind of messy along here because I haven't done the other strips yet. But you can see, even though these are not perfect, they still kind of sit together really nicely. And they slide together beautifully. And when you do put them together, you will find that as long as you match your seams up, there's little crisscross seams here, which you won't see because this is all in black. But you'll see your seam allowances, your seam lines match up, and you get a perfect result. You get a really nice result. You get this great kind of basket weave effect. Now,
Can you just hold it up for us?
I will hold it up for you.
Okay, lovely. Let me just come in a little bit.
I mean, come on, that is gorgeous. Let's be honest.
Okay, and there we have it. Thank you.
So for this one, of course, I couldn't press all my seam allowances to the dark. I did what I could because some of them are going to not behave themselves. Some of them like this are going to go onto the white. Doesn't really matter at this point. At this point, you haven't got that much show through anyway. So now I've prepared my patchwork. I'm going to go away, I'm going to complete the rest of my patchwork piece, and then I'm going to complete the skirt. But just a final word for you on this. When you've completed your patchwork, this is obviously not the whole thing, I need another couple of stripes here, you have got a number of choices. You can cut it so that you've got the centre of your patchwork is centering on your skirt. Or you can cut it a bit off kilter if you want that kind of groovy look. That's really up to you. You can also, if you make a slightly bigger square, you can cut it diagonal if you want to do that. It's like a basket weave look, a real diagonal look. It's really up to you. And the other thing to bear in mind, of course, is that once you've learnt this technique, and it is very, very simple and gives you really a lot of good result for very little effort, you can make smaller versions. Sorry, you can make smaller versions, you can make bigger versions, by which I mean smaller squares and bigger squares, and you don't really need to measure things out. Just make sure when you've done your strips, then you cut those into proper squares, and that's it, that's all you need to do. And just keep your seam allowances really small and you're good. So now I'm going to go and finish my lovely skirt, and you will see the results and you'll love it. So here, for your delectation and delight, is the finished article. This is the Deco Vibe Deceptively Skinny Patchwork Skirt. And you can see why we call it Deceptively Skinny, because even for a, shall we say, a plus-size person like me, it has the desired effect. It makes you look kind of much, much trimmer. And that's because these side panels here, if I show you, those side panels, they just come a little bit towards the front, and they give you the visual illusion that actually this bit isn't you, this bit is. Hooray! So we like that. So you can see how this has come out. They no longer look like squares, it's more like a basket weave effect, which I think is gorgeous. I think it looks really, really good in black and white. But of course you can always use it in lots of different combinations. For instance, tone on tone, so dark blue with light blue, or dark pink with pale pink, or something like that. You could also use it, this would look great in a stripe. You have to be very careful not to go too thick or too thin, because you'll lose it then, but like a medium kind of, I don't know, ½ inch wide stripe. You could do all your stripes different directions, and it would look fantastic. So I hope this has been educational for you. I hope it's been instructional and useful. I know that when you make this, you'll love it, and thank you for watching.